Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TechZulu live from Pubcon in Las Vegas. I am sitting here with dear friend Warren Whitlock. How are you?
Hi, I'm glad to be here right now. Glad to be sitting on a chair talking to a beautiful woman. It's my kind of break from the action at Pubcon.
Well, you're always running around here. I don't know how you do what you do, but you've come out with another book. You're so prolific, Warren.
Well, I am. If you stand still for more than a few minutes, I'll talk your ear off. But actually, when it comes to doing the book, we have a program called Social Media Radio. I interview a lot of people.
Right.
You see, you can see these. You folks at home can't.
I get to see the inside.
Pages of people that are contributors, and I give them all credit. And so the big thing about social media or anything in life today is the networking. It's who else you know. I really feel that if you want to sum up what everything is in life, it's the connections and stories that you have. Mm-hmm. If you're connected to somebody, you want to share stories of the past or build new stories together. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get new connections, it's only so you'll have more people to share stories with. Mm-hmm. So pretty much sums up family, business, life in general. And that's what's so cool about social media is we just get to do a lot of that a lot faster and in new and more exciting ways.
And then also get the FaceTime with each other here, though. What do you think about that part of it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like when people ask me, like, are you really friends with people on social media? And then I tell them about the story where it actually was right here. It was another conference. Mm-hmm. And the keynote speaker was Pistachio on Twitter, Laura Fitton. And I had interviewed her on my radio program. And we'd been friends on Twitter for years. She did a big project for Charity Water in the early days, and I was part of that. And so it's somebody I've known for a couple of years. She's given a keynote. I mean, she's busy, and she had to like fly out and then come back. And I'm standing outside. I didn't even know the keynote was on. I had a whole nother, I was actually doing video interviews. Yeah. And all of a sudden, somebody comes up from behind and hugs me. And it's Laura. And it turned out that we both did our book signing. The 2 days later, we got talking about it and realized we had not met face to face, but she felt comfortable enough to hug me. And I see that happening over and over again.
I would say that's a real friend.
Yeah, exactly. Now, which do I prefer, the hug or the tweet? The hug wins, you know? So you still want to be face to face with people, but it enhances it because there's people that, I see this happening all the time. I was in the speaker's room a little while ago, and somebody says, hi there, they're so excited to see each other. It's two guys, so they're not hugging, but they're shaking hands, and when was the last time I saw you? Well, it was Pubcon last year. And it used to be that, yeah, you probably wouldn't even talk between them, maybe a phone call or something.
Right.
But now these guys are seeing each other on Twitter. They know where people are.
Yeah. And you just have so much more to talk about because you can easily keep up with someone through social media.
Absolutely, yeah. If I want to know what you're up to, I mean, you're on TV, you know, and I can look you up, I can follow you, I can stalk you. The nice thing, looking like this, I don't have a big stalking problem. But yeah, I mean, you deal with that. I don't post when I'm at my home address. I check in when I'm at Pubcon. Mm-hmm. And last week somebody was asking, I said, well, I was checking in, I think for the 6th time on my way to the blog world, and they said, like, now we know we can rob you. And I'm thinking, like, well, I think it's pretty obvious where I'm going to be, you know. I mean, I think my Foursquare check-in did not set off any extra alarms.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we get to share what we want to share.
Right. Well, that's the important part, to be able to kind of filter through your own individual stuff to see what you want to make public, what you want to keep private.
Right. You know, the first time I got on the internet, I tried to look at everything. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I was on the internet a long time ago, but still, there was no way I was going to see everything. When I found out about the power of reading books and what you can learn, I wanted to go to the library and read every book. And you know, that's the kind of guy I am. One of the first Wired magazines had an article with Penn Jillette, and he said that Penn Jillette. Penn and Teller, yeah, the one that uses the first name. Okay, I got his name right. Anyway, and this is years and years ago. And he said he like living a wired lifestyle, and he had multiple TVs so he could find out what was going on. And I thought that was so cool. You know, at the time I had 23 cable channels, and I wanted more. I wanted to see everything. This is pre-internet. But yeah, that's kind of the way we are. We want to see everything. But we're way past being able to see everything that's going on. So now we need to filter, and then we need good friends that are going to basically, go through that stuff and tell us what the best stuff is.
So let's talk a bit about your new book, because you previously wrote a book on Twitter with Deb, Coach Deb on Twitter. And now what's this new one? Let's talk a little bit about profitable social media.
Here, buy the book. And it's, the message about profitable social media is that there's two big things. First of all, what is profitable? Profitable is not putting out ads and getting people to buy today's offer. If you really want to be profitable in the long term, you don't want people to think that you're trying to hawk something today. You want people coming to you. So we define profit, and that's really a small part, but I think we're putting profit in the title. We need to make sure that we're not talking about how to spam or something like that. And so what's really profitable, and then the rest is the theory we have of what it takes to get a message out today, which is you need a message that can be shared with other people. And basically, if I have to tell you how great I am, I may have a problem that's bigger than whether or not you know about me. And so first of all, do really good things that people want to share. Put it into a short enough message, because today's attention span is I forgot.
Squirrel.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, squirrel.
Right, exactly. So, and my favorite example of that is bacon and eggs. That sold a lot of pork products by putting bacon with eggs and make it easy to remember. Bacon and eggs was an advertising slogan to begin with.
Really?
Yeah. And Edward Bernays came up with the idea of, he had the Middle America Information Bureau, which was basically his office, and he sent out articles that magazines and newspapers could use to fill in or put in their food section or whatever. And he went out and surveyed some doctors and then said, doctors recommend Americans eat a hearty breakfast. And he tacked on, like bacon and eggs. In 1929, there wasn't any, some of the health restrictions we would have on doing that today. He did some other things like getting women to smoke more. So, some of his clients were the best, and his book was called Propaganda, and was really popular among the Nazis. So that's why we don't use the word propaganda anymore. We call it PR. But these techniques work whether you've got something good or bad. And in the case of bacon and eggs, I hope that, that you remember the next time you see bacon and eggs on the menu, that isn't something that, mom taught you about. That was somebody's slogan trying to get you to eat more bacon.
That was Edward Bernays, which a lot of PR students learn is the father of public relations.
Yeah, he actually invented the term public relations. Yeah, and if you think about what he was doing with the Middle America Information Bureau, it was what we call today article marking, placing articles. And he got people to eat bananas that way. He did some good things. so
it wasn't just the bacon and the eggs and the cigarettes. It was bananas too.
Right. And many of us say that the world's better off for having more bacon.
I personally like bacon. Can't help it. Yeah. So what are some given how, just look at how Warren is here. You're a wealth of information, and you make me smile. You make everybody else smile. What else is in this book that people can look to expect?
Well, where the profitability really comes in is today, the cost of doing something is different. I'm a direct marketer from way back. I think in terms of not about how pretty I can make the brand look, but how much product I can sell. And that means that, and when I learned it, it was you look at the back of the magazine and you look for ads that are there month after month after month, because those guys are getting paid by how many coupons get mailed in.
Right.
Then we had 800 numbers, then we had home shopping, and then all of that. Now we have the internet for that, and we have instant tracking and pay-per-click and lots of different ways to find out what's working and what's not. The cost today of doing something is minute. Used to be you wanted to do a mailing, you needed to invest, $50,000 or $100,000 just to mail something out to test whether or not the copy worked. So I do this on Twitter I say memorable things that are easy to repeat all the time, and I say it again and again and again. You know, after 100 times saying the same thing in different words, you find ways that work. You see what people respond to. And so we've applied that in the book. We refer to it as serendipity selling.
I like that term.
For next to nothing, you can try 20 different things and give up on getting the one that's right. Just go ahead and do them. And then obviously, we're in this for business. We're not just playing, but find out the things that work and do it again and again. If talking about my golf game, well, there'd be something boring. Talking about, I don't play, but if talking about my golf game is what gets people interested, then keep doing that. One of the things I do, I check in on Foursquare. I use that because I think that's the next coming thing, geo-based tracking.
There's a lot of discussion around that here at Pubcon.
Sure, yeah, so I've been using Foursquare for a couple of years now, and I'm a boring guy. I live in Las Vegas, and I say, you know, what happens here stays here because I just rather not talk about what my average day is like. It's pretty boring. I live in the suburbs. I don't leave the house a lot.
But Warren, do you follow the Vegas tech hashtag?
I do, of course. Well, of course you're following that.
Do you go to the jelly events?
I do. But on another day, the most exciting thing I do is that I really like $1.45 frozen yogurt at the Costco.
Hey, I am all about that with you.
Right.
And also the chicken bake, because the chicken bake at Costco is delicious.
It is. And so I'll tweet about something like that. And just like I saw you light up when I said Costco, there are people that do. And guess what? Look at me. My target market is not young kids, you know, the people who I interact with. And this is all about networking. Right. I mean, I'm not going to sell them my product per se, but they're the people that are going to spread my message and talk about me. So, and that's the final thing I probably should cover, is that once you have a message that other people are sharing, you incentivize them and help them to share it. Exactly. People like to share stuff I talk about because I say funny things about Costco. And for whatever works, you get people interested in that, and then when you say that I've got a new book coming out, then they're going to be prone to share it.
Exactly. So the selling piece is inserted in at very particular times, and you have to be very careful about when you do that.
Yeah. If you need a formula, you probably are trying to sell too much. Yeah. I was saying 1 out of every 3 or 4 tweets, and I talk in Twitter terms, although any social media, you could be doing the same thing with LinkedIn status updates or posting an article on your blog or whatever. I used to say 1 out of every 3 and 4, and then Chris Brogan and Julian Smith in their book Trust Agents said they felt pretty comfortable that it was 12 to 1, and I just kind of like taken that on and said, you know, if you have to ask, you're being too much self-promotional. You think of it in terms of you go to a cocktail party, somebody walks up and says, buy my book. Then, you know, you don't want to buy their book.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if they come up to you and they say, what do you do? Oh, that's a lovely necklace. And they're talking to you, then, you know, then that's, I mean, sheesh, this is flirting 101.
Social media selling is flirting 101. Okay, I like that. Good comparison.
Well, we may work on that one. We'll tweet it out a few different ways, and it may come out really good.
Well, make sure you check out Warren's latest book. Where can they get it?
It's available on Amazon. It'll be on Kindle, and you know, and you can go to profitablesocialmedia.com.
Perfect. Well,
I'm Warren Whitlock on Twitter, and please, if I didn't tell you what you need to know, send me a question. I answer every time somebody approaches me on Twitter.
He's not kidding. He really does. Thank you so much, Warren. It's always a pleasure to see you, and hopefully I'll see you again before Pubcon next year.
Either that or we'll see each other on social media.
Exactly. You always will catch up with me there. Well, until next time, this is Warren Whitlock. Make sure you follow him on Twitter and get the new book on Amazon. And I am your host, Amanda Coulong, TZ Live from Pubcon.
See how the book went up in her lap?